Hello everybody, welcome to a World of Warship Blitz game, and today we have something of an experiment. This video is featuring not one game but two games end on end, so advanced topics in video editing on YouTube. So this is King George V. I'm going into battle with Rubber Ducky, who has taken the Guard Armada out for this particular battle. So here we are, we're in the Golden Channel. I believe that the bad guy carrier there is an Ark Royal, and I expect to hear a lot of gunfire in the course of this battle, as he tries to shift the battleship out of the cap, because, well, this is a fairly typical move for me. Get into the cap, tank the cap, hold the cap, and rake up the points, because basically that's the lazy land's way to do it. So we've got this destroyer. Now, the dispersion on these shells isn't great. I remember the dispersion on the Nelson not being that great, but improving dramatically when with the historical camo. So let's start dealing with this Brooklyn, because basically Brooklyn's, look at that, 2 fires, definitely going to damage, run his damage con on that. Well, he's taking his time, they're burning away, because I just want him to use his damage con. Come on. Yep. Oh no, he's just going to let them burn. Oh well. I'll take the damage from subsequent fires or from the initial ones, I don't mind. There we go, get some more on him. No fires, but definitely taking his health down. In the meantime, the enemy destroyers are chucking in torpedoes. Let's try and see if we can get some shells on target, but the Ark Royal, or our friendly Ark Royal, takes them out. And we've got this Brooklyn. So what I'm trying to do here is not be too much of a torpedo target, or at least if the torpedoes do reach me, they're spread out enough that I don't get hit with an entire salvo. So I took 3 there, and the ship's remarkably resilient, considering. Oops, I do get that every now and again when I fire it. Sometimes the touching the screen moves the aiming crosshair. I didn't used to have this problem, it seems to have become more sensitive. Or maybe I'm just not as good at what I'm doing. Right. And by staying in the cap, it means that it's very hard for the enemy to get the cap. Now what they try and do is they try and get in, and the idea is to keep hitting them hard and force them out of the cap, so they have to defend themselves. Now, with the Nelson, I probably would have done a lot more damage to this ship. One of the differences I'm finding between this and the Nelson, ooh, this guy knows what he's doing. Yeah, he's staying point on. We may not survive, but we'll certainly make sure that he regrets his choices. So we have got torpedoes incoming. We've taken a good chunk of his health, and away we go. So that was the game that was set up. We did win that game. I stopped recording, but it was good to see it in action. Now, it's not a particularly agile ship. That's one of the things that I've noticed about the King George V. Its dispersion isn't great, and I'm waiting for the historical camo to see if that makes a difference. The only reason I'm not getting the historical camo is because the Blitz Pass provides me with camo that gives me plus 100 XP, and that plus 100 XP I'm using to cut the grind short to the Monarch. So what I did with the Queen Elizabeth was I ground out in the course of about a day halfway to the King George V, and then used my free XP. So I have 860,000 free XP. I'd have had 780,000 if I'd just basically gone straight to the King George V, but as it turns out, I now have about 820,000 left. So this is a game where there's all bots apart from a Pensacola and an enemy carrier. Now I have Rubber Ducky in the Ark Royal, and you can see that Pensacola's got busy already. Now, what tends to happen in these late night, for you guys, but not for me, person versus bot games, is that the people try and deal with the people. Now, he's got a bit of a problem in that Yeah, well, on the battleship, he's a cruiser and we're staying fairly highly organised. I've got AP loaded, we smash him hard. Now he was trying to do a drive-by, hopefully trying to go faster than my guns, but what I did was I pointed my guns out, waited until he got into the arc of them and then dealt with them. Now what's going to happen in about 2 seconds, or a little bit longer just to give me time to aim, is... Right, now it's 1 player and a whole lot of bots versus 2 players and a whole lot of bots. That's pretty much the tactic for dealing with games with large numbers of bots. Find the human players, eliminate the human players. So what we're going to be doing here is, now that Ark Royal is moving up into the cap. Look at that, Rubber Ducky is moving aggressively, which in high bot games is good to do. I'm getting pretty much targeted by aircraft all the way through, so my job is to take out the big ships so that Rubber Ducky doesn't have to face battleships. Now destroyers, bot destroyers, to be fair, you can pretty much ignore them. I think there's an AI conundrum there. If they were accurate with their torpedoes, bot destroyers would be totally ferocious. If they were inaccurate with their torpedoes, because they have no, they have no preservation instinct. But if they, because they're inaccurate with their torpedoes, there we go. And we're going to get another shot into this guy before Rubber Ducky takes him down, or... no, Rubber Ducky takes him down. Right, so right now, I'm going to look to how to deal with this Farragut, which to be fair, is very much on the wrong side. There's one over here, let's see if we can get him out. We're on fire, but... let that will damage upon that. I'm sure it won't be the last time we're on fire. Here we go. Can't let him go unescorted, besides which he's very effective AA. So unfortunately this is not strict naval doctrine to turn using your friendly carrier as sort of leverage. I think the Royal Navy during the Second World War would have had a lot to say about that. And hitting islands, but yeah, well, it's fair. Here we go. What are we going to do with this Farragut? We've got some AP loaded, 1 turret facing down there, and we chance our arm and start to turn the guns for the carrier and get rewarded. So basically it is now a human player in a just under half strength battleship following a full strength aircraft carrier against an aircraft carrier, and well, it's all over at this point. In fact, it was all over when the Pensacola went down. I mean, how could they have played that differently? I think the Pensacola probably should have used... Pensacola has quite good range and is hard hitting at range. Yeah, so although it's, yeah, I don't know what I would have done in his situation, to be fair. It's a pretty tough matchup. He definitely needed to get rid of one of us, and the problem is that we're both big, hard to kill targets. Definitely needed to possibly stick a little bit more with that bot battleship to have a bit of tanking support and a bit of fire support. Yeah, leave your thoughts down in the comments. It's probably a good question to ask, is what can you do in a situation like this? This guy's fighting on. Obviously he's trying to get out of there, open the distance, keep the angle up, and basically keep up the attack runs, try and get what points you can. He's yep, and Rubber Ducky took him out, but we got the battle star, so let's have a look and see what happened here. So yeah, so the overall effect of the King George V is that it's not manoeuvrable, and maybe I need to play some of the other Tier 7 battleships and remind myself, are they all like this? It just feels a little more stodgy than the Nagato, for example. So that's 2 kills, 2 capture points. That probably makes the difference. 19 aircraft, that would have been what the difference was. So yeah, so there's the King George V, along with the Ark Royal. Nice combination. Yeah, we're lucky with the matchup, which obviously helped out a little bit. Anyway, hope you enjoyed watching that. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time. And give me feedback about how the double video format works. Thank you.